Guys, there's a lot to unpack with this story, okay? So if you guys would, bear with me, get yourself something to drink, kick back, relax. I want you to listen to this story. These pictures don't really tell a lot of words about this story, okay? I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a place called Redford Township, Michigan. Redford Township, Michigan. But police were called to the Inn America, which is spelled I-N-N, the Inn America, which is a motel at around 10 a.m. earlier this year. And they found two children, one being this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful smile little girl. She was 5 years old. Her name was Lyric Jones. Lyric Jones. And I say that name because I really like that name. At a point when I was going to name my daughter, and I want to give a shout out to my daughter's mom, but when I was going to name her, she might not know this story, but I thought about naming her either Lyric or Seven. Lyric or Seven, because I just really like those names. I'm a big Star Trek nerd, but I've always liked that name Lyric. So I really, really love this little girl's name. Not only did they find her, but they found a 3-year-old boy. They found Lyric not breathing, but they found a 3-year-old boy, but we cannot give his name because he's actually still alive, okay? But they were suffering from abuse in Redford Township. Both of these kids were. The first officer on the scene began CPR on that baby Lyric Jones until the Redford Fire Department arrived. Then she was transported to a nearby hospital where she was pronounced dead. So one child survived, one child died from their injuries. But I'm going to warn you guys, for the people that are listening, when I get to the second half of this story, for the people that are squeamish, for the people that have difficulty absorbing the graphic nature of what we discuss in this story, I'm going to warn you, this may or may not be the show for you. It is going to be very, very detailed. Just throwing it out there. If you want to hear it, here we go. An autopsy later revealed that Lyric Jones, the little girl right there that you see on my screen, suffered multiple blunt force trauma. That's hitting kids. That's exactly why I believe parents and caretakers, keep your hands, feet, and other objects off of these kids. If you are still spanking and hitting and beating your children as a form of discipline or punishment, I beg you, please stop. If you stop in your tracks and you say, well, what else am I going to do? Email me. My email address is right here. Please shoot me an email. I will gladly give you some parenting tips that I know work, whether the kids are from a different kind of community or if they're from an urban community, if they live in hard neighborhoods or whatever the case is, whatever their background is. I know parenting tips that will actually help you. Please stop hitting the kids. If you guys are listening, please hit the thumbs up. Make sure and share that message. Please stop hitting these kids because you're hitting children that are like knee high to you. Their bodies are very fragile and they cannot take much damage. So sometimes when you get upset with these children, you give them an impact and you don't know how bad it's actually hurting their bodies physically, okay? Now, that's why I say that. Her death is considered a homicide. The 3-year-old boy was also transported to a hospital, but they expect him to survive. Police said that the children were at a motel called the Inn America, and that place is a crap. It is a crap. I don't even know how else to describe it. It's a crap. I'm going to do my best to try to get this photo on the screen so y'all can see this. I don't even know what to call it. I don't know whether to call it a piece of crap or whether it's just this right here. In America. Like, what kind of name is that? And it looks like this place needs to be shut down. Like anybody out there in Michigan, I heard there's a lot of downtrodden areas out there in Michigan. I don't know. I'm never out there, but I hear Michigan has its share of challenges when it comes to the downtrodden, right? Let me thank Janet Reasonwitz. Thank you very much for joining the channel memberships. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. But this hotel, if you can even call it that, there is nobody that should be able to get a room there. That place should be shut down and torn down. It is a piece of crap. Literally. Google it. It's horrible, right? They were at this hotel with the mother's boyfriend. How many of you guys are surprised by this news? How many times do I tell y'all, ladies, mothers, stop having your children around random dudes. If you need that man that bad, or you need some dick that bad, please allow the kids to go with the biological father. But why am I trying to talk sense right now? Y'all know they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that because they do not want to lose the benefits that they are getting from these kids. Am I lying? If I'm lying, type it in the chat and say, Jay, you're full of it right now. But I personally believe that's the only reason they do this. Hashtag babies for benefits. Because there was no reason. That's the biological father. We're going to talk about him here in a minute. Hold that thought. We'll talk about him here in a minute. But the kids were with the mother's boyfriend. 2 people were charged in the girl's death. One being this stupid broad right here, 26-year-old Stephanie Jones, spelled Steffani Jones, and her boyfriend, who was 30 years old, Michael Deshaun Lewis. Lewis and Jones have both been charged with felony murder, 2nd-degree murder, and 2 counts of 1st-degree child abuse. Here's the timeline of events. The police were called to the Inn America on Telegraph Road at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. First responders found that 5-year-old girl with that beautiful smile right there, Lyric Jones, unresponsive, and transported her to a hospital where she was pronounced dead. Wednesday, an autopsy was performed, and investigators ruled the death of Lyric a homicide. The cause of death was determined to be blunt force trauma. As you guys know that terminology by now, especially if you watch my channel, that means he beat the shit out of this child. And the child died of those injuries, okay? Michael Deshaun Lewis and Stephanie Jones were taken into custody that same day in connection with the girl's death. Thursday, police announced that a 3-year-old boy was also in the motel Tuesday and that they found signs that he was abused as well. But he was hospitalized, and after 4 p.m. Thursday, the mother and her boyfriend were in court on charges of murder and child abuse. Here's the part about the arraignment. Michael Deshaun Lewis, do not mistake this. That's the biological father. He's the good guy here, okay? But what we're going to talk about is these fuzzy photos that they have. That's the guy, Michael Deshaun Lewis, and his girlfriend, Stephanie Jones, appeared in court to face charges of murder and child abuse. Jones was the first to appear by way of a monitor and face felony murder charges and a child abuse charge, and a not guilty plea was entered on her behalf because she probably had a public defender. You know why? Because that's what broke bitches do. Yes. She was remanded without bond. Lewis appeared next and faced similar murder charges and 2 counts of felony child abuse, and he was remanded without bond. Rightfully so. Police detailed alleged abuse. So in court, police said an examination of Lyric Jones revealed bruises in the girl's back, legs, and head. And I'm warning you guys, if you have children listening or anybody that is squeamish, I'm about to say some details that are going to blow your mind. So if you are not ready for this, I ask for you to exit the channel. I'm warning you. I have warned you. If you want to listen to this, stay here. Brace yourselves, clutch your pearls, hold your chair, whatever you need to do. Do you guys know what her boyfriend did to this baby? Take a guess. What do y'all think he did to this kid besides just hitting his kid? That dude. What do y'all think he did? Anybody want to take a guess? Lanisha caught it. Lanisha Lewis caught it. Look at what she wrote. Lanisha caught it. Not only did Lyric have bruises on her back, legs, and head, external vaginal tearing was also noted. External vaginal tearing was also noted. Did y'all hear me? I'm saying that he probably raped her. a 5-year-old baby. And I promise you, if I was the father in this situation, I would not be able to hold my composure. Like, I don't think there's anything on God's green earth, which is why I pray for the fool that ever thinks that they could ever approach my daughter. Boy, that's going to be a cold day. I swear. I don't know how the father dealt with this. I really don't. External vaginal tearing was also noted, said Detective Sergeant Jeffrey Barrow in court. Man. The 3-year-old boy also suffered bruises, and there were signs of previous injuries that were healing, according to the police. The 3-year-old was taken to Detroit Children's Hospital of Michigan by Child Protective Services. Now, this is about to get really, really crazy. While you guys are here, hit the thumbs up. Instead of 200 people here, we should have about 600 people here. But we all got to work together. Hit that thumbs up to share this story, okay? Now, he was found to have multiple bruises, swelling, lacerations, and a contusion. A 3-year-old boy suffered contusions to his liver and a distended abdomen and anemia. I don't even know what that is. A distended abdomen and anemia. He beat the shit out the kid, straight up and down. That's horrible. Police say the surveillance video shows Jones leaving the hotel just after 6 a.m. and nobody entering or leaving the room except for her boyfriend. Lewis agreed to an interview with the police and stated that he and Jones are the only two who ever watched the children. Police said he claimed the injuries found on the children were a result of them being clumsy. Now, how familiar does that sound? How many times have I done stories where these caretakers blame it on the kids? You beat the kids up and then they blame it on the kids. That's what we're doing? That's been a trend all year long on my channel. Now, let's keep going. Police said he admitted to using a belt to discipline the children and says that he makes them do squats when they misbehave, which I think is bullshit. I think that all he did was beat these kids up. Now, I want you guys to catch this. This is also going to be shocking. Yes, Izzy Q caught it. Malnourishment is what we're getting ready to talk about, because I want to read this line. Brace yourselves. I told y'all this is about to get bad and it's going to get worse. Police said the mother stated that Lyric Jones, that baby right there, was caught drinking from the toilet in the motel room and she was disciplined. Whenever you guys hear that, somebody said distended abdomen is when the stomach is severely swollen. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Thank you, Green Eyes Reed, for telling me. I can see what you guys are typing in the chat. So if you guys have any comments, post them in the chat. I'd be more than happy to hear what you got to say. He probably beat the mom. I'm not going to. Hey, look, I'll tell you this. Even if he beat the mom, then that should have been the first and only time that it happened. Should have been the last time for her being around him. And she definitely should have got her kids away, but she never should have put her kids in this position, which is also why the courts are disciplining her. And I'm glad that they are. They said that the baby, Lyric Jones, 5 years old, was caught drinking from the toilet in the motel room and was disciplined. And I want you guys to remember how filthy, how nasty, how disgusting, how absolutely sick this hotel room is. The Inn America, look it up in Michigan. Look it up. And I want y'all to tell, this place was infested with bed bugs. So, for the people that have not posted it in the chat yet, I haven't seen anybody comment on it yet. I'm going to tell you why, because maybe you guys might be wondering, well, why was the kid drinking from the toilet? And maybe you might have skipped past that part, like we also often do watching the news. Why do y'all think that she was drinking out of the toilet? Why do y'all think she was drinking out of a toilet that everybody has to use and probably Thousands of other people have used that toilet, and that toilet probably isn't nowhere close to clean. Why do y'all think a 5-year-old baby would drink out of a fucking toilet? Look at how nasty that place is. That place. A hotel is where they were leaving. She was hungry and thirsty. What does that also dictate? 2 of these motherfuckers were broke. They were broke, and that's why they were living in a hotel. But also understand how expensive it is to live in a hotel. In a lot of cases, a hotel costs you way more than living in even the crappiest apartment. So if they probably were barely able to live in this hotel paying on a day-to-day basis, then that probably also means that they were not eating properly, and that dude was probably just happy to have a place for him to have 4 walls around him. You guys catch that? He was probably just happy to be in a room. Sorry, I see the thing messing up there. I don't know how to fix that. So anyway, let's keep going. That's what I believe. I believe that that little baby was probably drinking out of a toilet because they probably didn't have any bottled water. And y'all know that Flint is in Michigan. And I would assume that a lot of Michigan probably has dirty ass water similar to Flint. Because I've heard people that live out there say that the water is disgusting. Toilet water at that. Jesus Christ. Let's move on. When the mother, Jones, was interviewed Wednesday, police said she told them that she and Lewis had been together for 1 or 2 years and that he watches the children while she works, meaning he don't work. According to police, she admitted that they have domestic incidents. So whoever put that in the chat, you are absolutely right. He beats the crap out of her based on what she said, okay? They have domestic incidents multiple times a week, and that Lewis hits the children every day with his fist and belt. Rosemary McGee Langston, thank you so much. Pair of hands up. I appreciate you for joining the channel membership, and welcome to the AFC. Thank you guys so much for continuing to join the channel memberships. I really appreciate you guys doing that. Lewis was questioned, and he said he and Jones are the only ones who watch the children, Barrow said. He said that the girl said that she felt sick that morning, and he went to the office for help, and when he came back, she was lying on the bed. Lewis said that the girl's swollen eye occurred because she fell after he picked her up out of bed, which is clearly a lie. Hashtag BBB, Big Belly Bowens. Thank you, LaShondra Green Campbell, for using the Big Belly Bowens emoji that I created, which is actually totally pertinent to this story. I know it's pertinent, but I like to say pertinent because that pertains to that story of Malia Davis, because these women continue to keep putting their children in harm's way. Let's move on. The boy's injuries came when he was playing on a slide at the park, and he said he uses a belt to discipline both the kids, and he makes them do squats when they misbehave. The bruises are from them playing rough. That's the boyfriend telling his side of the story, which we know is a lie. Jones was later questioned and told police that she and Lewis had been together for 1 or 2 years and have domestic incidents once a week. She told the police that children do get a whooping when they misbehave by she and Lewis, but said Lewis uses his fist in addition. She added that he uses a knife sheath to discipline the children. A knife sheath. So what you put the knife in, apparently he hits them with that too. Just, Lord have mercy, man. She told police he watched both kids 5 days a week while she worked, and Lewis recently said he could not watch the kids anymore and that she would have to figure out something. I'm going to read that part again. Hashtag, where was the biological father in this entire situation? Well, I'm going to tell y'all where he was. The man told her that he watches these kids 5 days a week while she goes to work, and he said to her, I can't watch your kids anymore, and you're going to have to figure something else out. Keep in mind, this is the boyfriend telling her this. Now, Jones told police that the girl's eye was swollen from a bed bug bite because the kids are made to sleep on the floor. Oh, my goodness. Did y'all hear that? I told y'all it was about to get bad, man. I'm going to read that again. Jones said that the girl's eye was swollen from a bed bug bite because the kids have to sleep on the floor. So you make a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old sleep on the floor while y'all sleep where? Selfish, man. According to the petition, Jones, her boyfriend, and the 2 children were living in a 1 queen-size bedroom at the motel and was excessively cluttered and infested. They wrote infested. Say it with me, guys. Infested with bed bugs. Yuck. The police said that the Oakland County Medical Examiner autopsy showed internal bleeding, vaginal tearing, a torn adrenal gland, lacerated liver, and multiple bruises on this baby. Again, Lyric Jones is only 5 years old. Now, Jones told a detective, okay, I read that part. Okay, the mother admitted that she saw Lewis punch Lyric in the stomach 2 days before she died. The petition said, notably, the mother has continued to leave the children with Lewis despite knowing that he has punched and struck the children with implements. Jones went to work at 7 a.m. on June 25th. The petition said by 9:30 a.m., Lyric had stopped breathing. The boy, speaking to a forensic interviewer at a child advocacy center, said Lyric, and Lewis were watching TV in a motel room when Lyric began throwing up and died. He described Lewis as having an attitude. Law enforcement authorities discovered that the 3-year-old boy had 26 injuries to his back, torso, and underarms. The petition said his injuries included a laceration on his liver, multiple rib fractures, a 3-year-old boy, multiple rib fractures, abrasions, bruising, and scars. The 3-year-old boy told an investigator that a fresh U-mark shape on his lower left side happened when Mike burned him. So he burned him also. Jones attributed her son's scars to him scratching bug bites and falling in the shower, the petition said. Authorities have alleged that both Lyric and the boy had been beaten for drinking water out of the toilet. The boy is now living in the care of a relative. Now, some of you guys are asking, where are the biological fathers or father? Well, in my estimation, I think there were 2 fathers. The first one, according to a Wayne County Circuit Court order, which I'm very thorough, I looked up this information, the biological father of the 3-year-old boy, his name is Willie Canellis, which is spelled Conneilies. Weird last name. Willie Canellis. They were severing his parental rights to the 3-year-old boy because he neither visits nor supports the child. Also, he is a fugitive from justice and wanted on a warrant for a probation violation. So he has a criminal record also. So it seems that she has an affinity for thugs. What is that called? Hood chicks like hood dick. Yep. Canellis is on probation for resisting arrest and receiving and concealing a stolen vehicle, according to the Michigan Department of Corrections. The petition noted that the boy's father, a 26-year-old Detroit man named Willie Canellis, told investigators that he did not realize he was the child's legal father and had not seen the boy since he was an infant. The plot thickens. The man also said that he is on the run from the police and cannot provide for the boy. Wow. Now, as far as Lyric's dad, let me get his face on the screen so y'all can see him, because I have a lot of sympathy for the father, and y'all are going to find out why. This man, let me get a better picture. That picture. On the right-hand side, Lyric's father is named Randall Fuller. He's 26 years old, and he said about his daughter that Lyric loved playing with dolls, watching cartoons, and wearing nail polish, said her father. She would have turned 6 years old next month. That's the biological father. She was such a happy, smart little girl. Fuller said his relationship with Lyric's mother grew increasingly tense when she started dating the thug Lewis more than a year ago. He said Jones distanced herself from family and friends. Does that sound familiar? We didn't know where they were, said the dad. She wouldn't tell anybody where they were living at, and when we didn't even have a phone number for her, she changed her phone number. So it sounds like she was avoiding the biological father, right? Fuller last saw Lyric on Mother's Day of 2018. That September, he tried to drop off some new clothes at her school. So he pulled up to her school, and I admire him for that because I know what that feels like. So she wouldn't let him see him, but he found out where she was going to school. He went to the school to try to give her some clothes, but because he was not listed as her parent or guardian on paperwork, the front office turned him away. Ain't that sad? On the question of whether Jones aided and abetted Lewis, the court decided to hold another session on November the 22nd, which is coming up. And at that time, the judge is expected to make a ruling on whether there's enough evidence to bind over Lewis and Jones. Let's go ahead and give you guys the fair usage. And again, if you guys would, make sure and click that thumbs up as you guys come in. Let's try to reach about 600 people. Everybody pitch in and click the thumbs up to share their story, please. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Disturbing details released in court today leave Randall Fuller heartbroken. Cell phone video shows his daughter, 5-year-old Lyric, being chastised, allegedly by her mother's boyfriend.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
You good?
Lyric was found dead at the In America Motel in Redford in June. Police charged her mother, Stephanie Jones, and her mother's boyfriend, Michael Lewis, in her death. The prosecutor today says Jones knew about the abuse and let it happen.
Michael Lewis doesn't have the opportunity to beat those children. He doesn't have the opportunity to physically abuse them without her actions of leaving those children alone with him.
I like her, and I'm going to tell you why, because clearly she listens to people like my brother Tommy Sotomayor, and even possibly me. I don't know. I mean, we do have 2 million views on the channel. I don't know if anybody's out there listening to me or not, but I do know that Tommy's message has been getting around for years. I like what she said, and I want to play it again. I want y'all to hear that. She's putting the blame squarely on the mother, and rightfully so. Listen again.
Doesn't have the opportunity to beat those children. He doesn't have the opportunity to physically abuse them without her actions of leaving those children alone with him.
But the defense attorney for Jones painted a different picture, saying Jones was a battered woman.
Nobody could have anticipated that somebody would have been that brutal.
Now there will be
Isn't that a big difference? The white woman is trying to advocate for the children, and the black woman is trying to defend the bitch for putting the kids in the situation. Come on, man. The irony. You conscious people and you pro-blacks and Black Lives Matter. My God. Why y'all always have to be on the wrong side of the line? Jesus. Let's listen again. Thank you, Donna. Donna said the mother is just as guilty as the boyfriend with this poor innocent child's death. I 100% agree. And thank you again for your super chat message. That all of that shows support for the channel, and I appreciate everybody who donates anything. And I'm going to read off any other ones that come in by way of Cash App and PayPal if they do. Listen at this again. The white woman is defending the child, rightfully so, but the black woman who's defending her is defending the mother who allowed her children to be in this situation. I'm just saying the irony is so thick, you could cut it with a damn butter knife. That's crazy.
Children alone with him.
But the defense attorney for Jones painted a different picture, saying Jones was a battered woman.
Nobody could have anticipated that somebody would have been that brutal.
Now there will be a...
I'm sure, but look, let me tell you this relationship we have. I'm sure, because I get it. She's a defense attorney and she's supposed to build up a case for her client, right? A logical mind would say that's what she's doing. But here's the caveat. She's probably a public defender. I'm sure, I'm just assuming, but I'm sure that she's not private counsel. And if she's not private counsel, she's probably not making a whole lot of money off of this. Therefore, what is the benefit of going above and beyond for your client to make up a bullshit narrative? She was battered. No, she was not. And continued to lead them kids there. Because keep in mind, she was in a relationship for 2 years with him, and she went to work 5 days a week. So that means that she had 5 days a week to save her children, and she refused to save her children. How about that?
Another hearing in a couple of weeks to decide the next step in this case.
What this is the part that I don't understand, guys, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong. If she needed to go to work that often and that badly that she needed to let this thug watch her kids, why didn't she just give up custody? But we can't ask questions like that. We can't ask our queens to be accountable, can we? I need y'all to start asking some of these pro-blacks and some of the conscious community. And I know some of them, they keep wanting to change what you call themselves. So I can't just lump them all into one group. Black Lives Matter and all the rest of these stupid ass groups. But the type of people that always blame all of our problems in the black community on white people. Those people. Y'all know who they are. Y'all know exactly who they are. If y'all watch their channel, start calling them out on that bull crap. Because they don't have an excuse for why they continue to point the finger everywhere else except for where my brother Tommy Sotomayor has been pointing it this entire time, and that is directly at the parents, the custodial parents. It's their fault. In this case, it's the mother's fault. Well, it seems like you're always bashing. Shut the fuck up with that shit. I get so sick of y'all. You bashing black women, bashing. Well, if you don't want me to bash these bitches, then maybe they need to give up the throne of being the backbone of the black community, because apparently you can't hold them accountable for anything. So if you can't hold them accountable, then why are they in the position of leadership? Get them out of the leadership position. Give up custody to the biological fathers. Maybe we'll have some change. Maybe all these kids wouldn't end up dead if they were with the biological fathers, especially like in this case. So tell me if you want to get mad about what I said. Oh, it sounds bad. It's harsh. It hurts your feelings. Oh, God, it hurts. Nothing hurts more. And I want y'all to hear me. Absolutely nothing hurts more than what these children, these babies, these 5 and 3-year-olds. Imagine, they're little bitty kids. What they went through is way more difficult than what I'm talking about a grown-ass woman allowed to happen to her kids. Now, that's one to grow on right there. You heard me? Let's keep going.
Police say Stephanie Jones admitted to hitting her kids and told police she knew that boyfriend Michael Lewis savagely beat them.
She would never let us know where she at.
We just wanted the baby. That's all we wanted. We didn't ask for much.
They was like
a very loving man.
That's sad, man.
Your heart just breaks for the father and this family. Look, the family lives on the Far East Side. They said they've been trying to track Lyric and mother, boyfriend, and the 3-year-old boy involved all this. They just couldn't do it. They had no idea.
Yes, I agree. Just saying, said, be careful who you have babies by. And that's to the men. Men, if y'all know that these women are ratchet, like I realized about 12 years ago, actually going on 13 years ago, I realized it that year, and I said, I can't participate in this. I have done my best to try to make sure I do not procreate anymore, because the way that we're going is not a good place. And I don't want to keep putting innocent children in these dangerous positions. Even I had to step up and say, Jay, what you're doing is going to end up causing more harm on an innocent life. Straight up and down. So even I can be responsible, but men really don't have a problem. If you tell them what they're doing is fucked up, men will usually say, you know what, you right, dog. You right. Yeah, you sure right, bro. Men will accept it. What we need is for our women, all women, and it ain't all of them, but we need all women to start taking accountability and say, you know what, we can do better too. We can do better too. So start accepting that. Let's at least start there. Let's move on. But you know what? It bothers me. And it actually does bother me whenever you present somebody with information and they say, hey, this thing is a bad thing. And all they do is respond with insults. At least step outside of your own self-absorption and say, yes, these kids are suffering. We can always find the common ground there, right? If you guys are watching, click the thumbs up if you agree with what I just said. All of us, no matter what our differences are, black, white, whether you love the president, whether you don't, whether you're Republican, whether you're liberal, whether you're conservative, no matter what side of the line that you are on, we all can agree that the children deserve better treatment. Can we not agree to that? All children deserve a fair chance and they deserve better treatment. But that's why we're the AFC. Because we advocate for children first. That's what it stands for. So I got the boy and the girl here. Advocate for children first.
Heartbroken family members are speaking to Local 4 about that little girl killed in a motel room in Redford. We're getting new context tonight to a tragic story we've been following this week.
5-year-old girl killed by blunt force trauma. Her mother and her mother's boyfriend charged yesterday with murder and child abuse. We know the little girl's name was Lyric. And the family members you're about to hear from say they hadn't been able to see her for some time, but they say that was by no choice of...
Don't forget to click that thumbs up. As you guys see, when y'all do that, it does help our channel a little bit. So make sure everybody click that thumbs up, and thank you to everybody that's already done so. And I'm going to play this last video, and then I'm going to give you my closing thoughts.
Members you're about to hear from say they hadn't been able to see her for some time, but they say that was by no choice of their own.
Sean Lay had a chance to speak with Lyric's father, uncle, and grandmother. He joins us with more. Sean?
And the emotions were boiling over. It was intense, Kimberly. Let me tell you, you can only imagine what Lyric's father is going through. The entire family says they've been trying to get Lyric back with them for a year. Now they're dealing with the fact that she's gone.
God, hold on to your babies. If you don't do nothing else, hold on to your babies.
That's Randall Fuller in the pink shirt, and he can barely speak.
That's right.
Hold on.
It was his precious daughter, Lyric, who police say was beaten by her own mother and her boyfriend. The little girl's body showing horrifying cuts and bruises. Organs were torn, and she showed injuries from sexual assaults. Little Lyric's body gave out. She was found dead Tuesday morning at the In America in Redford.
I think I got it.
Yep, that's how her do it.
Videos of dad and daughter show how Lyric was so adorable, happy, and so full of life. Fuller absolutely loved her. But her mom, Stephanie Jones, left with Lyric a year ago. This family says Jones then cut them off.
She did. She ran away from her own family.
She knew this was going on, and then
And she could have stopped it.
she could have stopped it.
Jones' son was also found badly injured, police say, from constant beatings. Police say Stephanie Jones admitted to hitting her kids and told police she knew that boyfriend Michael Lewis savagely beat them.
She would never let us know where she at.
We just wanted the baby. That's all we wanted. We didn't ask for much.
They was
He's a very loving man.
Your heart just breaks for the father and this family. Look, the family lives on the Far East Side. They said they've been trying to track Lyric and mother, boyfriend, and the 3-year-old boy involved all this. They just couldn't do it. They had no idea. They were way out in Redford over on Telegraph wrote at this point. Guys, back
Y'all heard that. They had no idea.
to you. One more thing I want to point out. They just called me back. The family here, they have set up a GoFundMe. They said they fully understand that all of a sudden they have to deal with burial costs here, and they're looking for help with that too. So I wanted to put that in. That's on clickondetroit.com, guys.
Okay, and Sean, you spoke with police. Do they believe Lyric's mother could have done anything to prevent her death?
I can tell you exactly what they said in court. They interviewed the mom. The mom said she strongly disciplined her 2 children, and she knew that the discipline or the beatings from her boyfriend were going way too far. And at one point she said, I've got to get both of them to a doctor. She told investigators that the boyfriend said no, and then she dropped it.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Just
She couldn't even hold her emotions while she is actually a professional, and I actually respect that. She showed her disgust. Listen at that again.
No, and then she dropped it.
Oh, God. Just
I respect that because that's a real emotion.
awful. Okay. Thanks, Sean.
Here's my closing thoughts. First and foremost, I always talk about these hood, ghetto, unique names, but I'm going to tell you this. My honest opinion about this baby's name, Lyric, I wanted that name for my child, or I wanted to call her 7. I gave her a different name, but I really like that name 7. That's first and foremost. Second point, the biological mother ran. She ran away and she was hiding, like somebody said in the chat. She ran from the father, the biological father, who would have willingly taken custody of his daughter because she had to work 5 days a week. And then she's like, well, I can't watch the kids. And then he said, well, I don't want to watch the kids. You're going to have to figure something out. So nobody wanted to watch the kids. Why did you not give the kids back to the biological father? That's just stupid. It's exactly like Anaya Day Garrett. And it's also reminiscent of Malia Davis. All of these stories are. That pisses me off. She could not watch the kids because she was at work and probably didn't want to watch them. The boyfriend said flat out, I don't want to watch these kids anymore. Neither one of y'all want to watch them, but you won't even give the biological father a chance to watch his own daughter. And then instead of her being dead, she would have been alive. And so you mean to tell me that you'd rather have your kid be dead than be... Think about this, guys. She would rather her daughter, Lyric, be dead rather than be with the biological father that she laid down and created that kid with. Isn't that crazy? That's sad, it's sick, it's disgusting, it is demonic. That is by far one of the worst things you can do on this earth is abuse those who cannot speak for themselves, those who cannot defend themselves. That shit is just wrong. That's just wrong. Here's my next point. Where are all the people that want to tell me that all my facts are wrong, all the information I got was wrong, I don't know nothing, I don't know the mama like that, this mama is still a great mama, she's a queen, and all of this stuff. You disrespecting black queens, you disrespecting black women, and it's not all, hashtag not all. Where are all of those people at? And I want to know, what did I say that was factually inaccurate? And I have not seen a person yet that has told me a single thing that I have said that was inaccurate, not based in facts. It's based in your feelings. And I say, I could give a damn about your feelings. I don't give a damn about the fact that you think that people view us as bad people as far as black people. Because guess what? Collectively, we look like crap. We are bad people. That's why me and the AFC, I'm going to say that again, me and the AFC and the rest of us, including Soto Nation and all of us that have some truth and logic in our bones, are working our asses off to not only build this channel, build this platform, build our voices to be big enough to be heard across America in order to speak for these children. We are trying to make a difference in our actions, in our lives. That's the difference. As far as that GoFundMe, I'm personally not going to show the GoFundMe because I'm not so sure who opened up the GoFundMe. Now, if it were the biological father, I have no problem with it. But it was in somebody else's name. Sorry, I'm not going to promote that. Not going to do it. Last and final point. Family court needs to fix their 50-50 in West Virginia. Thank you, Don Love, for your super chat. I appreciate that. Here's my last point. I want to take a vote. How many people are watching right now? I want to know if the two of y'all, or excuse me, I said the two of y'all. I want to know if you guys think that the two of them, and I'm going to give their names again, that creature on my screen was Michael Deshaun Lewis, who was 30 years old, and this person, this creature, Stephanie Jones, 26 years old. Can you guys get your spaceship emojis, your rocket emojis? You guys ready? Because I think that I'm ready to give them my final disposition, and I think that we need to sentence them to NASA, and we need to put them on the space program. And some people might wonder, well, what is the space program? I think that they need to be launched on the very next vessel going into space that is going on a spatial exploration, put them on a planet that just barely sustains life. And I would love to see them suffer for the rest of their lives with barely any vegetation, barely any type of being able to breathe. I would love for the space to just suck the rest of the life out of them, because they deserve that and so much more. Sending them to hell or jail, in my opinion, is not enough. I think we need to put them on the next rocket going to outer space, and like maybe even like a test flight. If y'all don't know, like maybe like this shuttle might blow up in the air. Send them out there anyway. Let them, instead of sending monkeys into space and maybe the spacecraft might blow up, send them into space. Let them do it. Let them be pressurized and vaporized. That's my opinion. I just think that this thing has to stop, and it can stop any day that we get ready. You don't have to hit your kids anymore. You don't have to spank your kids anymore. You don't have to yell at your kids anymore. You do not have to do anything that is destructive to the children anymore. We could take tonight going into tomorrow, and all of this can stop. Make sure that every action that you have towards your children is nurturing, is loving, is caring, is kind, is understanding. We need to make sure and do all of the basics, check all of the boxes. And if you guys do not know how to deal with your children in a constructive, non-physical way, please email me or someone. Reach out and get help. You guys can also reach out to the National Child Abuse Hotline for information as well, okay? But please, let's not let this happen to another kid. But guess what? I know I got a lot of other stories to report, but let's hope that maybe us having these conversations can lessen the number of children that are being taken advantage of. They can't speak for themselves and they cannot defend themselves. This father was robbed of an opportunity to raise his beautiful princess. And Lyric Jones, I am so sorry that you did not get an opportunity, and we're sorry that we could not see you grow up and be something great. R.I.P. young princess Lyric Jones, 5 years old. And I hope that her brother, who's 3 years old, turns out to be something great. This is your boy DJ Just Jay. We're the AFC. What does the AFC stand for? We advocate for children first. Peace.